This video is related to methods in Java, that what is the method in Java and how to write the method. Method is a block of code which is used to perform some particular task, as like this is the main method. This is also a type of method. Here the main method responsibility is to perform some particular task, as like let me to write a method. As we know that there are primitive data types. Just to wait, let me to start the comment so that you get much clarity. Start. Hmm. Now as you know that there are 8 primitive types, as like this is int, then at first it is byte, sort, short, sort, int, long, float, double, float, float, double, and then boolean, and then char. Let me to count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. There are 8 primitives in Java. So how to write a method and how we have to return anything. All the categories are defined as like in the term of number. In Java, number is a class, but we don't need to explain all of these things. As like in the number, we can write byte, short, int, long, because number can be anything, 12, 13, or any decimal value 76.89, anything is number. That's why it is in the category of number. And character is another category, and boolean is another category. Got it? So, and here also the float and double, total 8 primitive types. Then in the method it is compulsory to know that how to return any value in the method. As like I want to write here public. As the method is public, if I write any method as public, then it can be accessed from anywhere. That's why I am writing here the method as public. Got it? So let me to write here public int, and let's say my method name is length. I want to write a method as length. Now it will give the compilation error. When I am writing this type of method, this is a description of method. The first line is prototype of method. This is prototype. That what is prototype? Prototype means the whole description of method, that what is method and what is the behavior. The method access modifier is public, so that it can be accessed from anywhere, and it will return any integer value, and this is a method name. Got it? We can pass any parameter here. Let's say I am passing here int a comma int b. I can pass here any parameter. This is giving compilation error because this is expecting integer as output. Here I have written public int length, so it will return the length, and length is in the form of integer. Let's say let me to write here a name, as like this is Suraj. The length is 5. How can you say 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5? Total the length is 5. So it will return one integer value. Let me to write here return a plus b. It won't give any compilation error. Why? Because the argument a is of integer type and argument b is of integer type. When we try to write here integer and the another is integer plus integer is integer. Let's say let the user enter a is equal to 5, because I have to insert one integer value. Here I have written this is integer, so a is equal to 5, and let's say b is equal to 12. Let's say b is equal to 12. Then what is the sum of a plus b? The a plus b is 12 plus 5. This is total 17. And 17 is also an integer. That's why it allows us to write any integer value here. When I change this, let me to change this from float, or let me to change this to boolean, double a. it will give compilation error. Why? Because I have written here, what I have written here, let's say a is equal to, it is in the form of double, this is a input type, here I am writing the input type. Let's say user has entered the input a as 12.5, 12.5, because here it will take the data in the form of double a, that's why double value can be of decimal type, that's why it is a. And b is equal to 10 because it will take the data in integer form. I have written here integer, that's why it will take data in the form of integer. So when we add this a plus b, 12.5 plus 10, it give 20, it will give 22.5, and 22.5 is not an integer. Integer means only this, there should not be any decimal value, but as there is decimal value, that's why it is giving the compilation error, because I have written that I will return integer, but I am returning here any double value, float value. Float value means double or float or double, it take decimal value, that's why I'm saying this. So I have I have two things, whether I have to change this to double, it will there is no any compilation error. Why? Because here 12.5 plus 10, 22.5, and I am writing that you have to return double, that's why it is allowing us. Or if I am writing here int, then I have to change this to integer type, otherwise it will give the compilation error. This is the criteria of method. Now if I am writing here int, here I am saying this that my program that it will return any integer value, then compulsory I need to return an integer value. Just wait, compulsory I need to return an integer value. Here you can see I am writing here int is the return type, and that as the return type is of integer type, that's why we have to return only integer value. If I return any other value, let's say I am writing here any double value, it will give compilation error. Why? Because integer is of 4 byte and double is of 8 byte, it won't store the data. Other than integer, if I take anything that then it will give the compilation error. Let's say let me to change this to, got it, this is the thing. Now if I am changing here to string, that I am saying that this method will return string, then it again give the compilation error. Why? Because in this method I have written that this method will return a string, but here I am returning any integer value, that's why it is giving the compilation error. But if I write here double quotation, it won't give any compilation error. Because why? Because double quotation means any string value, we are writing string values in double quotation, that's why it is not giving any compilation error. Or we can write here, just remove this, I am writing here, remove this, I am writing here string name is equal to abcd, I'm writing anything here, and I am returning here as returning name, sorry, name is a string. It won't give any compilation error because it is expecting string as the return, it will return one string. Now I am writing here string name is equal to abcd, name is of which type? Name is of string type, you can see name is of string type, that's why when I am returning any name, it won't give any compilation error. Now let me to change this, I am writing here int, I don't need to write all of these things, return 10, so that it won't give any compilation error. Now in the main function, let's take the input value from user, scanner sc is equal to new scanner system dot in. Now sysout, enter first number, enter first number, int num1 is equal to sc dot next int. That's how I will take the second number also. Let me to copy and paste this, enter second number, and let's change this to num2. Got it? Now I am calling the method. I have asked the user two number. Here user will enter two numbers. Got it? Now to access these two numbers, at first I need to write arguments in this. Here in this parenthesis is for the input type. So what the input type of this method should be, it will be written here. Let me to change this to sum. Got it? Now here I am writing here int a comma int b. This method will take two integer type value. This method will take two integer type value and it will return a plus b. This method will return, this will take two integer a and b, and this method will return a plus b. Got it? So if I need to call this method here, let me to write static. Let me, I don't need to create any object. Without in the static I don't need to create any object, and this is working in the same class. This is working in the same class. The main method is in the same class. That's why we can directly call sum num1 comma num2. There is no any problem. If we compile this, then I have to input two numbers. You can see. Let me to compile, enter first number, let me to add 10, then I am here 20. The sum is, oh sorry, I need to print this. Sorry, control C, sys out. I need to print this because I need to print the value that what I will get. I have written here semicolon, that's why it is giving compilation error. Let me to write this. Enter first number, this is 12. The second number is 10, and you can see the output is 10 plus 12 is 22. I am entered here 12 and 10, so that's why it is giving the output as 22. Now how it is internally working? As we know, this method is static. This method is static and within the class. That's why we don't need to create any object. If this method is not static, let me to remove this static, then we can't call this method directly. For this I need to create an object of this class. Let me to create an object of this class. Method m is equal to new method. I am calling here. Now for this I need to call m.sum. Here with the reference of I have created one object, and here the object reference is m. With the help of object reference I am calling this method. If my method is non-static, this is instance method. If I write here static, then there is no any problem. If the method is static. But if the method is instance, there is no static keyword, then we need to create one object for this. I have created one object, and with the reference of this object I am calling this. Now you can see it will give the same output. Let me to enter one value. This is 15. The another is also 15, 30. It will give the output as 30. That's how the method is internally working. Now if I write here int, that's why it is returning two integer value. So let me to change this to float, float, float. So it will return a plus b. Let me to change this to float, so that I can add integers a decimal values also. Float b, float a and float b. Got it? Now I need to store this in float. Float f1 is equal to sc dot next float. Got it? I have written here. Now the second line will be same. Control C, here change this f1 to f2, and I am writing here num1. Here not num1, there is f1 and there is f2. I am written here. Now you can see it will take two values. We can add the values in decimal point. 12.5 plus 12.5. Now you can see the output is 25, and it will take that output in the decimal format. Let's say I am writing here 10, and again I am writing here 10. 10 plus 10, 20, but it will give 20.0. You can see there is 20.0. Why? Because float always return the value in decimal point. Got it? So let me to change this to double. All will be same, all will be same, but I need to change all these things again. Then I have to write this in double, then I have to compile this. Let me to add here 12.6, and again I am using 13. You can see it will give the value in decimal point. 13 plus 12.6, 25.6, and then another values. Got it? This is double type. Now if I write here string, 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 if I write here string, then it can take any value. I need to write here, if I want to pass some input, then we can pass. Otherwise we can pass anything, as like I am passing here Suraj. Yes, you are AJ. That's I am passing. Now I don't need all of these things. I don't need this. Control star, and in the bracket, as I have not passed any argument, so we don't need to call this. You can see the number is here. I have not commented, that's why it is giving. Here you can see the output is same. That's how we are returning the value in the string type. If the method return type is string, that's how we are returning all the values. Now here you can see this method is instance. That's why we need to create one object, and with the reference of this object it will be called. Now how this method is internally working, here I am writing here m.sum. Now when I will write this, it will search is there any sum method in the class having no arguments. Here there is no any input type. You can see this bracket is for the input type. This bracket is for the input type. So it will search, is there any sum method having no input type. Let's go up, and he see that this is the sum method having no input type, and this method is returning one string type value. That's why it is giving the string. Now let's say I am writing here int, and I am writing here 10, then it will return 10. You can see it will return 10. Why? Because same sum method having no argument. So here it will check, is there any sum method. Yes, there is some method. And what is it return type? Return type is integer. And what is it returning? 10. That's why it is giving the 10. Got it? But if I write here int a, and I am returning here a, return a, because a is of integer type, I am return here. That's why it allows. Now when I am writing this, it will give compilation error. Why? Because it is checking one sum method having no input value. Is there any sum method having no input value? No. Why? Because there is one input value. It will search, there is no any input value type method. It will search no any input type value method, but here there is one input. But here this is one input. That's why it is facing some problem. Why? Because it is searching the sum method having no input type, but there is one input here. That's why it is not finding any sum method without input. But exactly same to same, let me to change this, and let me to write this as 10. If I write this, there is no any compilation error in this. Why? Because here it is searching one sum method having no argument, having no input type. Now it will search, is there any sum method having no input. It will check from here. Here you can see sum method has one input, so this method is not. So here you can see sum method is again, and it has no input. That's why he will find that this method he has to execute. The output will be 10. The output will be 10. Got it? So this in the Java, it is also known as overloading. Overloading means same method, same method name, but having different parameters. Here there is one parameters and there is no parameter. Parameter means input type. Here whatever we are writing, this is parameters. This is parameter. And it is also said that this is a input type, that this method will take which type of input value. Now let me to change here to boolean. Let's say int a. I am guessing here user will enter a value. User will enter a number. Let the user to enter a number. uh, let me to change this. Let me to change this to int. Let me to change this to int. Got it? So this method will take one integer value. This method will take one integer value and it check. I want that user should have to enter age. User will enter age. User will enter age, and user have to enter the age in input type. So input should be of integer type. Why? Because user has to enter the number. Age is a number. Age is a type of integer. That's why I have to pass here integer, because I need some input value, and input value is its age. Got it? So I am writing here, if bracket start age is less than 18, sys out, no, return false. Got it? Else return true. Got it? That's how the method is working. Let me to remove these things. So you can see this method return type is boolean. Boolean means true or false only, and it will take one age as a value, integer type. So if age is less than 18, suppose this is for the voting machine. This is for the voting machine, and if the age is less than 18, then you are not eligible to vote. That's why we have written here return false. Got it? Else if age is less than 18, then return false. But if age is not less than 18, then return true. It means you are eligible to vote. You are eligible to vote. Got it? So less than 18 false, greater than 18 true. So in this when I am calling this method, I need to, here it will check any sum method having no argument. Is there any sum method having no argument? No, there is one sum method having integer type argument. So I need to pass here any integer value. Let's say I am writing here 22. It will return true. You can see enter first number. I don't need this. Let comment this line. Enter first number, enter a number, enter your age. It will be looking so good. Enter your age. Got it? So let me to compile this. Enter your age. Let's say I'm entering 22. It will return true. Why? Because it will check if age is less than 18. 22 is less than 18. False. Else return true. That's why it is returning true. Let me to write here 12. I am writing here 12. It will return true. Why it is returning true? Sometimes it's happen. Why it is returning true? Again it is returning true. There may be some problem. If it's return true, it is not checking the condition less than equal to Let me to check this. 12, it is returning true. Age is greater than 18, it will return true, or it will return false. Let me to check this. Age is 12, it is returning true. Why it is returning true? Let me to check a code. uh, int f1 sc dot next int. I am sorry. Here you can see I am passing here m2. Here I am directly passing 22. That's why it is giving the problem. Here user has entered the value in f1. Here user will enter the value in f1. Then I need to pass here f1 now. Sorry. I need to pass here at f1. That's why it is giving the problem. Now you can see if age is greater than 18, return true, else return false. Now let's me to check this. 12, it will return false. Why? Because 12 is less than 18. Now if I enter here 25, 26, it will return true. Why? Because age is greater than 18. The problem was I have entered user will enter the number and it will store in f1 variable. It will store in f1 variable, so I need to pass here f1 variable. I was passing 22, so it work only on 22. It was working only on age 22, but I need to I need to access all the values with the help of user input. That's why I'm using this. You can see how the boolean is working. At first, the sum method will take one integer as argument. It will check age is greater than 18, then it will return true, else it will return false. That's how we are writing the method. Else string, let's say I am changing it to string. So now I have to pass here return. What I will return? You are eligible, because this is a string. You are eligible to vote. Eligible. Here I am passing here you are eligible. It is not any problem. Else you are not eligible. You are not eligible. If age is greater than 18, then I am returning you are eligible. Else if the age is not greater than 18, then you are not eligible. Then the same user will enter here. Let me to compile this. Enter your age 22. You are eligible. And let's say if the age is less than 18, now 17, you are not eligible. That's how the method is working. As the method return is string, then we need to return only string value. I have returned you are eligible, else you are not eligible. That's how the method is working. Got it? So but we can directly print all the methods which are returning some value, whether it will return in any type of value, as like it is returning integer, float, double, boolean, anything we can directly print. But if the method is of void, so it won't return any value. Void will not return any value. You can see I am not returning any value and it's not giving the compilation error. I can directly write here sys out a plus b. Got it? And let's take a comma int b. Here there will be I am entering the input is 2. We have two input a and b. There is two input a and b, and here I am passing here in the sys out a plus b. I am not returning any value because this the method return type is void. Void is not returning anything. That's why we don't need to return anything. So I have simply write sys out system.out.println, and the whatever the input will be, we need to add this a plus b. Got it? So we can't directly pass here in the system.out.println. It will give compilation error, because we can print all the values which are returning something, but we can't print that value which is not returning anything. So we can't do this. Then how can I call this method? The in this class we are creating an object, and the object name is method reference name is m. So with the help of reference m dot, and what is the method name? Sum, sum. let me to here it will take two arguments, two input value a and b, so I need to pass here two input value. Let me to change this to int, and let me to change this to int. Enter first number, it will look good. Enter first number, got it. This is enter first number, enter second number. Now I can pass here f1 comma f2, because in the f1 user will enter first number, in the f2 user will enter the second number, so I can pass here some f1 comma f2, and f1 is of integer type, f2 of integer type. So the method signature is some method name is num, and it will take two input type value. Is there any sum method which will take two integer type input? Here you can see this is some method which is taking two integer type input, that's why it is allowing us. And here I have written system.out.println. For more systematic way you can use this. For more systematic is sum is colon. Now it will give the output sum is and then the sum of value. Let's say I am entering 10 first number, 20 second number. The output is 10 20. Why it is giving? Because it is taking the value in string type, that's why it is concatenating. We don't need to concatenate 10 20. You can see the output is the sum is 30. That's how the method is working. Here m.sum, it will check the sum method having two integer type, because f1 is of integer type and f2 is of integer type. It will check the method having two integer type arguments. Here you can see the method is sum having two arguments of integer type, that's why it is allowing us. And as the method is void, we can't print it directly, so we only need to call this method. We don't need to write here system.out.println and then m.sum. Only this void can't be written in the system.out.println. Otherwise all the method we can write, but this void method we can't write. That's how all the methods are working. And I have discussed this. If I write here any value, then we need to return anything. Here the return type is string, that's why we need to return some string value. I can return here anything abc, there is no any compilation error. That's how the method is internally working, so we don't need to write all these things. Here it will check. Here if I have written here public strings sum, and then I am returning one string value, it is right. And I have called this method, but when I run this method, it will. I don't need two numbers right now. Let me to comment this. If I compile here, you can see there is no any output, because we are not printing the output. So let's say this method return type is string, so we can store this number in string s. We can store this, we can store the whole method in a string. Why? Because this method return type is string, that's why. And when I print this s, sys out s, it will give the value. You can see it will give the value abc. Why? Because it is returning abc, that's why. If I write here int, then we can store this in the int type, we can store in integer variable. Now when I am printing this, you can see exception in thread main java.lang. Why? Because here I am returning here integer, that's why we need to return one integer value. Any integer value, we can take only 10. Otherwise let's take int a comma int b, and it will return a plus b. And let's take let's uncomment all of these things, because I need right now enter two numbers. It will give the error. Why? Because I have not passed the argument. Now you can see Here, let me to compile this. Enter first number. The first number is 12. The second number 76. The output is 88. You can see the output is 88. How it is working? Because here in int s is storing m dot sum of f1 comma f2. Here m is the method, m is the object of this class. The class name is method. You can see the class name is methods class name. That's why object of this class dot method name, and method having how many arguments, f1 comma f2 of integer type. Here some method to integer type, that's why it is taking, and it is returning a plus b. So as this method is returning integer, that's why we are allowed to store this in integer. Int s is equal, we can take any variable name. Let's say I am writing here sum. It is not giving any compilation error, so we need to print here sum. So int sum is equal to m dot sum of this, and when I will print this, this method will return anything. Let's take the a value was 10. Let's take the user has entered a as 10 and b as 20. The sum is 30. So int this method, whatever this method is returning, this method is, let's say the method is returning 30 because first value 10, second value 20, and the method is returning 30. All the values will store in this sum. Now the int sum value is total 30. Int sum value is 30 and I am printing this sum, that's why it is giving the value as 30. You can see, enter first number, let's take 10, another number, let's take 20, it will return the value as 30. But we can make it a little bit beautiful. How you can make this beautiful? Double quotation start plus sign. Got it? Now you can write here sum is, it will print sum is 30. It will print like this. Let's take 10, another value 20. Now you can see sum is 30. It is a little bit looking good that sum is colon, then that's why we are concatenate. This is string, this is concatenation. Got it? Thank you.